and welcome back to USA Global TV and Radio. I'm Dr. JACALYN KERBECK, and our show today is presenting Pet Psychic AMINAH. And this show has evolved so much. We talk about so many relevant issues, topics, things that are really filled with meaning and just bring warmth to my heart. And that's all because of the star of our show. AMINAH is not only a psychic, she's also a trainer, she's a speaker, she's a human being who really cares about human life as well as animal life and the future of our planet here on Earth, how we can help each other join together to provide a wonderful living environment for all creatures, regardless how big, how small, or what they are. Let's welcome Pet Psychic AMINAH to the show.
Yay!
Hello, how are you?
We're gonna get confetti. No, just the fake stuff, because we're not cleaning it up.
Remember that stuff that came in a can, which we don't want things in a can, but that's string in a can.
Yes, it's around still, I think. But you and I luckily don't know anybody who currently is using it.
No, for sure. Absolutely not.
Oh, it's a nightmare to clean up.
By the way, we had a really great show last week. There were a lot of people watching about the bees and the monarch butterflies. And it just goes to show you that there are people out there who do care and people who want to learn. So I want to spotlight you. I'm super excited. I just posted in our group over on Facebook for USA Global TV and Radio that we had over 30,000 views last month.
Yay!
So,
and it's your hard work. Let's stop a moment and say, yes, you have gotten us on the show because we have these passionate messages. But did you hear the first part? You have ... So I honor you for giving us all this platform to get the word out wider, because all of your co-hosts are working in their heart work, and we want people to do better, and we're okay with giving it away free because we want people to do better. We'll make money, and that'll make a living and put a roof over our house, but that'll come because we truly believe we put out good. It'll come.
Absolutely. It's like anytime you start a business. I just said on our last show, Talking Heads, that it takes 3 years typically to get a business where it's actually generating profit. But for people who want to know more about you and the work that you do, I'm going to spotlight you, especially for our friends. They're listening on the radio. They can't see your beautiful face and your smile. So
I dressed up just for them.
Tell them what they need to know about what you offer and how they can connect with you.
The easiest part I'm going to start with is bridgingworlds.us. It's really that simple. I want to be the bridge between our world and whatever world you want to research. If it's the bees, if it's the plants, if it's the dogs next door and any other pet, or it's your neighbor. I'm pretty good with neighbors. I want to help out. We all can contribute something that you haven't thought of. And I am a big proponent and have lived and walked in thinking outside the box. There is no box. That's what I'm told. I like to say, let's put our minds together. Let's figure out where you are at and where you need help. I've had clients, luckily, all over the world. Before pandemic, it was a very expensive video or phone call, but I've been really, really lucky to have that branch out. So we will find our language, you and I. We will find a way to communicate, you and I, so that we can move your pets forward and or get you past a really difficult transition. Losing a pet, losing a person, anybody who dies in your life. For me, it's if you squish a bug. I'm having a tough time. Now I'm still discussing it with the snails, but because they keep eating everything. But that's what I do. I will research it if I don't know, and I will tell you, hey, let's look into this together, because I always want to learn. We are all having unique lives, and I love now even more so having clients all over the world and having those cultures and that topography and the different plants affects your pets and which pets are very popular in different countries. It's not just the cat, dog, and the hamster anymore. There are many, many pets being, is that the right thing for you? That's what we'll talk about.
Thanks, Amina. You know, you were mentioning about bugs and about snails. There is this one kind of bug. I don't know what the name of it is. If anybody out there watching live, it's always in my room. I don't. It's not the same one, but
So it's not the silverfish.
you know, I think it is the silverfish. But some of them are looking less silver. I think they might be silver.
Have you seen global warming? We're losing the snow. We're losing the rain. I wouldn't be put it past the bugs to change. I hadn't even thought of that. That's groundbreaking. Going, wait a minute. Yeah, of course, of course.
Yeah, that makes sense because I'm seeing them more and more. Like last night, there was one like right in front of my carpet on my way to the bathroom, and I looked at it and I'm like, really? Like,
Exactly.
what am I going to do with you right here? You're in my way. And I just thought, you know what? I'm just going to step over it and it'll be gone. And it wasn't. I always wonder, where do they go?
Exactly.
Go?
Well, and I think there's somebody out listening today, and don't tell me why I know what I know, but that is terrified of what you just said. Absolutely terrified. Their energy is so strong right now that it's like, whoa, I know my source, I'm stepping on. And it's like, okay, and that's a perfectly natural, normal response. Don't let your family keep harassing you about, oh, you're just a big baby. No, that's not a thing. There's growth to be had. So my suggestion to you to them is get a Kleenex, get a piece of paper. Personally, I would just, receipts are wonderful. If you want me to keep doing this, all my cats will show up any second because of the receipt. But it's very easy. It's light. It's good for like a silverfish. So simple. And you scoop them up. And now somebody might want a whole piece of paper because they want the distance. Great.
Right.
Or I have a bag in front of me, one of those little gift baggy things that somebody gave my daughter. And so it's sitting on the table. So any of that, it keeps that confined in a little bag. Scoosh them all in with your little receipt and all that. And then just take the bag and leave it outside for the evening. And then, 600 other ones will get in the bag. And you can yes, don't leave the bag because you're just adding.
You know what else? Aside from taking the life of the bug, right? People never think about this. You step on the bug, now it's on your shoe. What do you do?
That's everywhere.
Now you're walking around with it. It's just.
You went from creepy to disgusting and creepy. Because think about it. How many of us still sit on the carpet without chairs in between?
Right.
As kids, I remember just watching kids walk around and they're eating and touching and licking, and you wonder why their immune system is so much better than ours because they tried it all.
Right.
And that's what we're not doing. We're living this semi-sterile life that we've wiped out so many of the good bacteria that's going to fight. Well, we've done that with the bugs. We've done that with the bees and the honey and the trees and everything else. Oh, I don't want that tree. It's in my way. I want to build a pool. So you killed the 900 birds that nest in there, or at least the eagle on the top if you're there. And you've decided that you're more important than a 300-year-old pine tree. Nowadays, a lot more governments are stepping in and saying, whoa, wait a minute. You might have bought that property, but we need to talk about the tree. We need to make a different thing. Have you seen where they have taken freeways and highways and they literally gone around the tree? Because these trees are like 300 years old and they matter. They matter. Somebody's nesting in them. Somebody's getting food from them. The earth is getting soiled, reconditioned. There's light. This is how the world works. Coexisting. I say it every show. Coexisting. None of us is better than the other, but we're all valuable and we all have a reason. If anybody understands mosquitoes, I'm still waiting to hear from you.
I want to talk a little bit about coexisting. This just happened to me. I think it was yesterday. I'm in the state of New Jersey where there's a law that if someone's in the crosswalk and you're driving a vehicle, you have to stop.
Right.
So I say to myself, okay, it's summertime. It's, last weekend of the big weekend of the summer, Labor Day here. So there are going to be people from other parts of the country who are visiting. Right. So I'm in the crosswalk and this person is literally flying. We're on an island. Where are you going? I don't know. And I'm in the middle of the crosswalk and the person is not stopping. I'm thinking, what kind of person, what are you going to do? Like run me over so you can get to where you have to go? And I just, of course, I just moved back, got out of the way. But I just thought to myself, who does this? Why are you not even being considered for your fellow man?
Yeah. But look at what the pandemic has also brought out. Crisis does this. Having history as my minor, it was saddening, enlightening to watch not only World War I, World War II, and then you've got the flu pandemic of 1918 and all of these things that happened. I can't believe I remember any of those dates.
Oh, good.
I was like, wow, thank
Yes.
you. Thank you for upper higher giving me a brain cell today. But people are missing the point that we've been here. We've done this. And the common denominator of where it all became a pandemic or where it became a disease, which we all are talking about now, is that we're just going to get vaccinated every year for this one too, is because we can't regulate our own behavior. And it just has gotten worse and worse and worse. I don't know about you, but I feel like we all got disgusted about staying indoors for, I don't know, 3 to 6 months, really. And then everybody said, no, I'm a free person, will, whatever that is, and I'm going to do what I want. If you lived on an island, that'd be fine, but you don't. Even if you live on Hawaii, in Hawaii, you still have 500 people at least on that island. You're not alone ever, because we have the animals and the bugs and the climate, and we are living our choices. How many news stories, Dr. Jacalyn, do you see? Because I see at least, and I'm being conservative, that's if I just keep the news off or just flipping channels, I see at least 10 conservatively articles, newsmen, somebody saying, and this is due to global warming, and we're being flooded, and we're not have enough ice melt, and we're run out of blah, blah, blah. Oh, now the waters are poisoned because they didn't run to clear out. What's the rock in the creek? It's a filter. That's the point. But if you don't have rock or you don't have water, there's no filter. And we keep going out in public and just saying, oh, I'm done with my soda. I'm gonna just pour it on the ground, on the grass, on the dirt, on the whatever, and it'll be fine. Well, if you can imagine what soda's doing to your body, imagine what a plant thinks of it. It's these choices that we think are simple. Just walking around and seeing the cigarette butts. Do you remember the 70s and the 80s? It was torrential out there. You couldn't sit in a park and not run into 5. Or you on the table, they'd have the ash. They wouldn't have an ashtray. They'd put them out on the table. They'd be burn marks. I'm just giving one example. And then, you've got people who go for the beer party. I'm all for everybody having one if they want, but don't leave the beer cans. I mean, goodness sakes, to me, that's a quarter walking by, because I'm a conservative, and you recycle it. But there's so many that choose to live in, and we see this in stark reality. And every pandemic, the other 2 that I've read about, it happened the same way. Doesn't matter what country you're from, doesn't matter what kind of person you are or what your heritage is. Humanity doesn't know how to coexist. And we're living our choices. We're running out of all the supplies, and we're killing the animals that need them desperately. And nobody seems to care. Nobody seems to care that we're losing the wolves in one place and the squirrels in another place. And they say, what does that matter? Because the wolves manage all of those cattle and deer and things that are eating all the grass. No grass, no water. But if the bears aren't there and the wolves aren't there to eat the caribou, then they just have babies over and over and over, because there's no reason not to until the food runs out. And that's where we're at. We're at the food's run out.
Yeah. All spot on. I don't know what I'm doing. All spot on.
That's okay. I haven't gotten busy yet.
What I was going to comment on is it all starts someplace, and when I gave that example of walking in the crosswalk, I could have reacted in a different manner. And then that low energy, those low vibrations that I have, I then take out on someone else, and it just keeps perpetuating. And I'll give you another example. I just mentioned this a couple of shows ago. I was at the gym 2 days ago, and there were only two of us in this part of the gym. And long story short, this woman comes in, a third person, and she's got her phone and she's got her headset, her earbuds, and she's got speakers. And I'm thinking, what is she doing?
How do you get all? Did they go speaker, bud, and she was talking too, wasn't she?
Yeah, and she set up a little station where she was working out. She brought in some weights and she was doing this routine while she's on the phone. The whole time she's on the phone. And I thought to myself, okay, I do not want to deal with this. I don't understand why people think that other people want to hear your conversation. And I know what it is. She didn't care. She had this scowl on her face.
Me, myself, and I.
Yeah, it's just all about her. And on our show, The Power of Etiquette and Manners, I've asked Philip Sykes, what's the appropriate thing to do? Because I have gone up to people in the past in the gym and I've said, hey, do you see the sign? It says no cell phones. And then they make fun of me on the phone with whomever they're talking, this crazy woman. So then I thought, I'm not engaging. I'm not doing that. So I just decided I was going to use my power of control and I was going to ignore her. And I was just going to continue and I did. And a couple of times I smiled at her and she just scowled. And when she ended up leaving the gym, she just had this big scowl on her face. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to give her grace. I don't know what her story is. But my point is that we're responsible for our own behavior. I can't control her behavior. I can't judge her, but I can control how I react or don't react to that behavior. And if people started thinking about that more and more, take responsibility, then we'd be in a different place.
I think we're going to have to do one of those apocalyptic things to get a reset. And for me, I've seen exactly what you're talking about so many times over just the last 6 months. And what I see and what you saw was the same, is me, myself, and I. It doesn't matter. This is what I want to do. This is how I want to bleed. I need to listen to this business meeting, or I want to listen to music, or I don't care. You want to watch Big Bird, listen to Big Bird tell you a story. I don't care what it is you're watching. If you're on the phone in public, especially us who get to enjoy just one side of the conversation, and I could see some guy walking up, especially, and say, "Hey, take it off earbuds. I want to hear what happened with Lucy and what she wanted to do, because I'm only hearing what you want to do." I would love it. A big 6 foot, 6 foot guy, 6'6" guy, burly muscles, and the kindest, gentlest man on the planet. There's so many of them. They look frightening, but they really are the biggest teddy bears. And I love for him to go up to somebody, guy or girl, I don't care. Just make sure they're over 25 so nobody thinks you're threatening them. And just say, "Hey, wait a minute. What happened? What did Bob say? I don't know if he bought a car. Did he buy a car? Did he buy a house?" Mimic back their conversation. And wouldn't that be hilarious? Because you and I would walk off rolling in our chairs, our seats, and down the way, and making our whole day. And that person would go, "Oh, so rude."
Exactly.
Yeah, but I made fun.
You did that really well.
And we'd have a story to tell, and you'd have something else to share online. And she was wearing bright yellow tights and blah blah blah. She wear something really distinctive, and she was at gym blah 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 at 2 a.m. So go say hi to Susie. Talk too much.
I love it. It's so true. Also, at the same gym I'm talking about, which I love this gym, there's a squat rack and there's a sign that's put up there: "Please do not drop the weights, no matter how strong you think you are." What do people do? Bam, bam. Wow, that's so cool. Yeah, congratulations that you just dropped 50 pounds of weight. That doesn't say anything. If you put it down nice and gently, that says something about you. But So my point is, it just starts in little places. Then
Yep.
somebody gets upset about, then they leave the gym, then they take it back to so, and so on and so on and so on.
Yeah. Well, and this is, your point is excellent. And by the way, if anybody doesn't know, they would like to keep the floor of the gym intact. And if it
Yes.
keeps dropping, first of all, you're number one, putting yourself in danger of missing the floor and getting your foot or getting your hand, whatever. And that's not what anybody's paying to listen to. Blam, blam, and then the floor goes out. And guess what? They raise the prices because you've got to do all this maintenance. So then you don't come. It's a vicious circle. But why do we need to just ignore each other? I don't understand. When we have crises in the world, these things tend to happen, good and bad. We go through a world war, we go through Vietnam, we go through a pandemic, we go through, pick some world crisis. And why are we, and maybe it's because I'm living through it, not just reading it in a book, why are we being the worst human beings we can? Because what I keep hearing over and over and over in real life and in written is, I want, it didn't go my way. How come you don't ... Do you see? I've only mentioned me, myself, and I only 3 times. But the person doing the weights is acting out the fact that they are entitled to just, it's the employee's problem if he breaks the floor. No, because they'll raise the prices and then people won't be able to come to the gym. You know how many people that are elderly need a gym? Not only socialization would be the benefit of side benefit, but for mobility, for physical therapy, that don't have a physical therapist, or the physical therapist said, hey, you should do this. It's really good for you. You can't go to a gym. First of all, if they weren't wiping everything down, which I know they're doing, that's how they were reopening. But then people destroy the equipment. I don't understand that. I never have. And we've seen it in many industries. You go to a restaurant, somebody gets angry at the waiter and they throw all the plates on the floor and break them. And that served what purpose? That you know how to throw a temper tantrum. Good for you. You're what, 60? Okay.
Yeah. Have you ever been with someone who throws a temper tantrum like that, and then all of a sudden it's just like all the air in the room is gone, and if you're still there with the person, typically they storm off, or else they just start to just cave in, because all the positive energy is gone. It's just replaced by this sadness.
And it's really this easy. My caregiver and I have been vacationing once in a while. We shop at a certain area. There's a really great dollar store in the shopping center, so I really love it there. First of all, my price, but I love being creative and making things out of what they're not. Anyways, different conversation. So we've started going to this one restaurant. They have a great outside patio, and the staff has been really nice. And now they see us coming, and it's like, oh, the girls are back. And it took me, 30 seconds, maybe a minute, because the manager was talking to some of his staff, and there were, like the old cafeteria style where they have the chairs and the benches, and then the food is being cooked behind. So it was more of the old style. And so I waited till he finished this conversation, and he turned around, and luckily the woman who had waited on us 3 times already. And I said, I just wanted to stop and say thanks. Your employees are so nice, and they're so gracious, and they help me out and understand what I'm doing or what I need, or getting food packed for me to take home, whatever it is. And everybody's just wonderful and very friendly. I really appreciate it. Just wanted you to know. And all the cooks were there, because they were leaning over the counter. And I wanted it to matter more than, and for me, writing is very difficult. I wanted it to matter. How hard is it for anybody to just say to the cashier at the grocery store, thank you? That could make their whole day. They could be really struggling. Their car had broken down. They were late to work. Their boss is yelling at them. Do they need a client or a customer doing the same thing for no reason or just because they're having a bad day? And I'm sure, Dr. Jacalyn, you've done this. I without a doubt, I can see you doing this, going back and apologizing when I've had a bad day and saying, you know, that was on me. That was on me. I shouldn't have done or shouldn't have said or snapped and we all are human. But what skin off my nose does it to be human and also apologize and say, I can do better. I know I have to do better. I have bad days like everybody. But wow, right now I'm seeing a lot of people taking advantage of that. And I have learned to put boundaries, and I'm sure you have too, especially with as many dynamic people all over the world you have on those platforms. So you've picked the best of us, of course, but there are plenty of people that I'm sure you've passed on. And I know people have passed, and I have passed on working with them. We're not for everybody. But does that mean we get to be rude or cruel or unkind? And, you know, dealing with that within my own life at this point, you know, long-term business partner and other, you know, doing social things with. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, wait a minute. No, you crossed a line. That's not professional and it's not courteous. So, you know, you get people say, well, we haven't talked to them yet. I said, no, they're in the middle of a personal crisis that needs to be handled. And we'll work out our relationship. But people need to know when to step away. Sometimes that's it. And that's what I'm wondering for you. Sometimes it might be time to step away from, you know, certain people and certain places.
Mm-hmm.
And that's hard. I have left organizations because it was no longer fitting my need. That's the best way to put it. And I encourage everybody to do that. Know when it's time to quit. It's hard to do that when you're really committed or all your friends are there. Well, there are other friends in the world. And going through that personally with my own life, my family didn't understand. Oh, you're the best of friends. You bet. Why don't you see her anymore? And I'll finally sit them down and say, because we've come to the end of that. Oh, are you quitting too easy? No, I'm quitting before it's tragic.
Mm-hmm.
And you and I both know that's really, really important to know where's your line. And so many people don't put a line. And I'm not saying a wall. I'm saying a line that can be erased or drawn every day. It's not permanent. They didn't put a wall up and put Berlin on the other side or something. You know, it's not. In your life, you need to be flexible. And you need to understand that sometimes you change. You will change. And the friends I had 5 years ago or 20 years ago, yeah, I don't think that would work because I'm not the same person. I'm doing the same things. I'm not believing the same things because I hope I'm more educated and I'm more aware of what's going on in the world, much less in my own backyard.
And you know what else, Amina? I love what you just shared. It's also for you and I, we continue to grow. We continue to learn. And I'm not judging anyone.
No.
Many times the path that we take because of what we learned means that we're no longer over there where we were. And that's okay. It's great that everyone is where they are, but there are natural times when it becomes obvious that those relationships served a purpose for both or not, but no longer do. And that's healthy, I think.
And I don't know about your, you know, when you and your mom were living together or any of the other things, but I live with my oldest daughter, and it is hard for her because she still struggles with, oh, but mom, if you don't have that friend, you'll be all alone. She's not the only friend I have. And, oh, but you spend so much time with her. Yeah, I understand that. But I finally had to, and where's the line? Where's the line is you're telling somebody else's secrets or you're telling too much about your relationship that's not, you feel is irrelevant. And with somebody as close as a family member that you live with, there's a time to say, okay, I need to give you a little bit more information so you can not only understand my choice, but hopefully accept it. You don't have to condone it or anything, but this is what I'm going to do. And I find when I finally enlighten them that, no, this has been going on for months. This is not me just saying, oh, I don't like them anymore, and I don't want to do that. People do that. That's not my style. It goes in with a great deal of thought. So then you hopefully get your support team, your family, your closest friends supporting you and not saying, oh, I'm so worried about you. Why don't you go see Sarah and go out to movies and blah, blah. Because I'm not that person anymore. I choose to make a different choice. I want to do different things with my life or my time. So it's the same thing with here, Dr. Gemma. We have an amazing time, and we hopefully are moving people forward with what we're showing and teaching. And if I can get you to understand how to be around a barking dog and not get bit or be afraid or kill a spider or kill honeybees, I will feel my life was successful. But does that mean that other people who aren't animal or nature driven or coexisting as I am are going to say that what I do is unimportant and invalid? Maybe. Do I care? No, because I have to live within this shell and this body and in this time. And I encourage everybody to do that. Be strong. You'll find your tribe. Sometimes it takes a little longer, and sometimes you got to trim the tribe. I've had to do it with family members too. Some of them are just a little toxic, and we just keep them at arm's length. I see them at family gatherings. Say hello. Hope you're good. Go visit another crowd. It's just,
well, but you're managing your life and setting boundaries because you know what feels good and what doesn't feel good in your body. And as we all know, that stress that we have from whether it's internal, external pressures, but certainly in relationships that no longer feel good,
right.
The longer we continue in them, it affects us in many ways.
And I want to reinforce that absolutely everything and the effects are now medical, and they're documented. I can't tell you how many times, because I have had a couple of conditions and surgeries that I got put in a medical book. So during the research of that, I was asked to go see a psychiatrist. I was asked to see if I was depressed. I got asked to see if I was suicidal once. I got asked all the questions because the doctors couldn't figure out what was wrong. So they went and sadly now they do it earlier. And I know there's statistics of why they do that, but some of us who are still telling the truth and have a body that's not cooperating would like you to believe us. And I don't know about you, but I wait till I find the professional, the doctor, the trainer, the spiritual guidance, best friend, and that believes me without usually too much quantification. That's necessary sometimes. But I also know that some friendships aren't meant for a lifetime, and that's okay too. Just do it healthy. Do it in a coexistence saying, I've loved our time together, but I think we're kind of done. And you're, whoa, wait, no, because it's not healthy for me or it's not healthy for them. If you're strong enough to see that you're not healthy for somebody and you're able to step away and wish them well, look at how magnificent your growth is and how much better you'll do it next time you have a good close friend. Because they'll come. It happens for everybody if you put yourself in the right life time frame. And then with Dr. Jacalyn, you get this magnificent show, and then we all just show up anyway. You're stuck with us.
A lot of really important things that you're mentioning. I hope they're resonating with people and that people are finding value from the education that we're giving from our own personal experiences and experiencing life. I'll be 59 and a half this month. Yay.
Oh
and I know you're a little bit younger than I am, but
couple of years. Just
we've
a couple.
seen a lot. We've definitely seen a lot. And I do want to announce on another topic that I've created something really special, and I'm going to encourage you, Amina, and any of our guests and our people watching, listening. I've decided to take the Global Post newsletter, and I
Mm,
actually turned it into a magazine. So I now have the globalpostmagazine.com, and it will
that's
be a full-fledged magazine featuring various sections, and
amazing.
people can have articles put in there about themselves or their books or videos from here. So I'm really looking forward to being able to take this topic that we're discussing, sustainability, coexistence, and having a whole section on that.
And the timeliness is so vital, is so vital. People keep thinking, oh, coexisting, whatever. And I was like, okay, have you turned on the TV at all? Even the commercials now are talking about the news on the commercials to
Mm-hmm.
say there's no water in this place. There's no trees, and they're dying and they're falling down. There's no this, there's no that. I mean, we don't even have, what was the mining called where they did strip mining, right? Where they took the water and they blew out the mountains. Anyways, I think it was called strip mining. They didn't dig anything. They just blew it up with water and dynamite. Big guys, give me a break. And for diamonds, and I like pretty diamonds too, and I have one of those rings. But it's just like, wait a minute, how many resources that the planet needed, animal, vegetable, and otherwise, did you just decimate? Because, oh, it'll be fine, it'll recover. When your great grandkids are living in a hovel of dirt and no food and no water, and that's what we are finally seeing. If there's not a change immediately, and I mean everybody doing something different, just looking at, and having worked in the parks for a number of years, teaching people how to landscape, the trash issue alone, besides the cigarettes, I'm never sure how that got started, that people smoking cigarettes from the beginning have always just squished them on the ground and left them. But if we threw out a Kleenex or a wrapper or something like that, even in the 60s and 70s, you get a little blowback about that. So I'm not sure where the difference is in trash. I was dying to ask somebody about that. So why is cigarettes okay to squish out there, but they don't pick them up? Now, I have met smokers who do. I never want anybody to think what I say is everybody, all of them. That's not true. But we're losing our habitats, which means we're losing our animals, which means we're losing the water. That's why the world is warming up. The whole planet is in trouble. And if you can't see that on one blip of the TV, or you just don't turn it on anymore, that is huge. That is huge. So coexisting is vital, not having a king or a monarch that rules over you. Nobody wanted that, so a lot of that went away. We don't have a lot of ruling monarchs. So why? Because that didn't work. It doesn't work in nature. It doesn't work in coexisting at all. If you decide to throw your trash on the street, it has a overwhelming circular effect, meaning it either, I don't know if Dr. JACALYN, you read as many of these articles I do, but they've actually captured wild animals and their bellies are full of all kinds of debris, especially in the ocean. You get the whales that they find are washed up, and they're like, wait a minute, this whale didn't look like he's sick. So they do necropsy, was an autopsy for animals. And they open them up, and they're full of cans and bottles and plastic, tons of plastic. Well, that comes from everywhere, from the banks to the people in boats, the gasoline that the boats caused in the water. There's an endless amount of culpability here on the human side, and we have to make the change, even one of us at a time, just one of us at a time, and it will make a difference. It always has. That's how we got through the last depression. That's how we get through the rest, is we all pull together and say, no, we can make this work so people don't starve. and nobody should be. And now we're finding animals in the wild, starving, bones, still breathing. And it's in my industry, it's absolutely shocking that this is happening. But we knew it was coming. You just hope you don't live long enough to be there for it. And so the world is talking about, please support the honeybee, plant a flower, plant a bush. If you're allergic to them, plant them 6 inches farther away from you. I live in a condo, and I have a tiny little space, and I have tons and tons of plants. And I wanted to share my milkweed with everybody if we were going to talk milkweed, so I brought them in the house. So we can do that another time.
Oh, good. Yes, we'll have to do that next week or whenever you want to do it.
So if I go this way, all you see is my background. But they are absolutely stunning. And again, you can buy them anywhere. I have a literally smaller than a dining room table. So think of a half of a dining room table, square of dirt at the bottom of my stairs. That's it. So I just got pots, and I kind of moved over whatever the landscaping company had in there. I didn't kill it. I just kind of went around it because it was pretty small.
You're creative.
And got these pots and ordered the milkweed that's local to my area, and wishing the butterflies well. And people say, well, why do we care about butterflies? Well, they're pretty first. Okay. But it's part of the evolution of all the insects also coexist, and they all feed off each other. Somebody eats the monarch, not many. It's poisonous. That's why the color. It's highly poisonous, but animals become immune to that, the ones that are supposed to eat it. So there's ones that eat snakes. There's ones that eat this. So it's all a master plan. And when we go, it's like looking at a brick wall, and you've got those big cinder blocks, and somebody takes one out of the middle. Well, it's inconvenient. It's a nice little window or something. But what happens when you take the third one and the fourth one and the fifth one? Even if it's randomly, you have weakened the wall. So what we've done is we've weakened the world completely. And now we're open to every disease we thought we cured, every element of weather, regardless of the time of year. So that's what we're living through. And every time we drop a piece of trash on the street, even accidentally, I can't tell you how guilty I feel. And I have to go back and get it. It happens. We're human. That's not an excuse. That's not a reason. We can do better. And I'm here to cheer you on. That's it. Not blame, give you ideas, and call us. Write me an email. I'll talk about it on the show and give you tips, because so many are layered. It's not, okay, just go pick up 6 pieces of trash and we'll all be great, because each person's going to do 6 pieces of trash. No, you're going to get 5 people out of 25 that'll go pick up trash. I get asked all the time, why are you picking that up? That's gross. I said, well, who is going to? It could have just blown out of their purse. It could have just whatever. They dropped it and they didn't know, or the person was handicapped and couldn't pick it up on their own. But I can. Am I going to wash my hands? Sure. Depends on how dirty whatever I'm picking up is. Animal waste. Let me get back to this part of this is so important. Animal waste is not biodegradable. So when you let your cat or dog go outside to go to the bathroom, if your dog is going to the bathroom in your yard, do you just leave it on the grass? No, because it burns holes in it, or it's going to be there forever. It doesn't matter how much it rains or the heat or whatever. Your pets are being fed processed food like we are. If you want to go strictly carnivore, that's different. You want to go strictly herbivore or vegan or any of those, fine. That's different. I don't recommend that people go outside and go to the bathroom, because I think it's illegal. But your animals are doing that. And the wildlife are doing that. And the wildlife are dying because of not just one chemical, but it is the big bad guy, and that's Roundup. And I am as guilty as everybody. I used it in my first landscaping years because I didn't know. I didn't know it was killing the butterflies. I didn't know it was killing the honeybee. And now I know. You can't change what you don't know. That's what the show's about. That's what all JACALYN shows are about, is to make your life better. By making everybody's life better, you also make your life better. We're going to enlighten you of, yeah, Roundup's a bad guy. And it's doing its job, what it was designed for. But it's killing our world using these things. Get some vinegar and salt out there. Doesn't hurt the ground unless you use too much. And you can really take care of ants and many, many other things. Skin so soft. Love the stuff. Don't use it very much. It's a baby oil from Avon. And I use it to keep mosquitoes away and bugs off me. Skin so soft is made for people's skin. So it's not hurting the bugs because I'm not using a chemical like Off or any of those bug sprays. But it also softening my skin. But they hate it. They absolutely hate it. It's something about the smell. I haven't had a mosquito tell me, but from what the scientists say, it is about the smell. So use it. I started using it. I never got another mosquito bite. Every time I went camping, I put on a little cotton ball because it's baby oil. And I just dab it around. And especially if you're wearing a lot of clothes. And it's just amazing. It's just amazing to be able to use something that simple. And you can put it in your bath. And have bubble baths.
Hey, really good points and summary that you're doing there. I do have a question before we conclude. I was thinking about you. I was out on the paddle board. My nephew was on his and I was on mine, and we were way out. And all of a sudden, as where the bay water's meeting the ocean, this green-headed fly is attacking me. And, you know, I'm here, like I have to watch what I'm doing because we're headed out to the ocean and I want to turn around. And the thing it was relentless. It would not stop biting me. And I kept like using my oar to try to get rid of. What is the deal with them?
Well, you know what? I'm not familiar of this green bug because that's such a deep explanation of what kind of insect it is.
Green-headed fly.
Wow, wow. So it sounded like he was absolutely desperate for some land, and you were in the way. He felt that the board, okay, so they look at things in, oh, that must be a rock, dirt, you know, I'm giving a name to, they're going, this I can sit on, but this carnivore's in my way. So it sounds like, because all the actions you're talking about were aggression. And trying to get you to move away from the board. And it's like, no, I was here first. So when they're that insistent, the nice thing that you hope that they'll do, and especially like with the honeybees, is that they will just relax and sit on the board with you. A lot of times a bee will calm down and just say, oh, I can hang out here. That carnivore there seems to be fine, because technically they deal with bears. Bears kind of beat them up and eat their bunny, but they're around them. So that bug is going to go, it's still sheer instinct. Okay, get off the board. I need this rock. I need this piece of land, because he either had gone too far and he's flown too far and they need to rest. We've seen butterflies do this. We've seen squirrels and birds do this. Stop. Paddleboard people, you know, the paddleboard where they stand. And
that's what I was doing.
Yeah, there you go. And I've actually seen a seagull land on this guy's board and rode with him for 25 minutes. And the guy's like, okay, I guess I'm giving the bird a ride. But, you know, we don't have the opportunity to analyze them and say, so why'd you come? You know,
well, in this case, it kept biting me, and I had to keep rowing because we were going out into the ocean. So
yeah, he sees you as the competition for the little piece of land he just found. So, and you have to understand, we are carnivores. I don't care if you haven't had a piece of meat in the last 25 years. That's the way God put you together. That's what these teeth are for. So it doesn't matter what you actually consume. I have some vegans who get really mad. I am not. Well, then you should talk to your genealogy somewhere else, because I'm just talking facts, just what we are born factually. And that's what you're describing. Is this guy was like, oh no, my board, I want the board, I'm going to make it. And that's how the strong ones live. That's how the strong ones live. People and or animals, they make it through the worst of the weather. What did they say about people who live in places like Alaska? They got to be hardy. They got to be hardy. So it's a different kind of person. Why wouldn't they have different kind of bugs? Why wouldn't our natural world also have those same levels of ability in the natural world? I absolutely do. I don't know if you've met a lion. I have. And I've actually walked with one. And that's a whole different need, want, and desire from a ground squirrel. They still both eat meat, but their need and their ability to regulate who gets it first, the lion would win every time. So this one was out for your board. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, my board's red, so that makes sense.
That does make sense. That does make sense. It's like, there goes land. They don't overthink it. They're no people. They're not going, this is not logical. They don't care. They live in nature. Right. Nature is logical. You just don't know why. So move on, human.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Well, we have to close up for today. It's been another great conversation and discussion. What would you like to leave our audience with today, Pet Psychic Amina?
I would like to reach out to everybody and say, be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself, and that will give you the bandwidth to be kind to the rest of the world, or the checker that you're going to walk by who's having a bad day and looks at you like she's growling, or he didn't bag your things the way they could have. Sometimes the worst days can be turned around by somebody just saying, thanks. I really appreciate you doing that for me. It meant a lot. Thanks for going out of your way. Or, you know what? I hope you have a great day. And just getting them out of that place. I hope everybody takes a chance every day you can and just say, thanks. Just thanks. I'll give you one example of a totally random thing. I walked out of our garage, and in where I live, all the garages meet each other in condos. We're kind of like a V gone wrong. And so I went out to get the mail. I came back to the garage, and I'm looking at the little girls 2 garages away from me, kind of like, again, a V. So they're up here, and they're just biking around and talking to their mom, and they're under 6 years of age, these 2 little girls. And I'd walked by a box of what is it? Chalk, colored chalk that we had used years ago, but this was a brand new box. So it was obviously left over, and it was sitting on the shelf. And I'm thinking, why do we have chalk? We don't have a driveway. It's not going to go anywhere. So I went back in the garage, picked up the box, asked their mother, can I give this to your daughters? And you're just seeing these 2 little girls. They were under 5 years old. And then they drew all these pictures and all this fun, and they had so much fun, and it would wash off in seconds. And the mother thanked me profusely. And we only had said hi in passing. Now we say hi and talk about our day. And it's only been a week and a half since that happened. And the other day, the little girls and their mom came to the door, and they brought me, I think, every chocolate bag. I'm looking, it's sitting on the other side of my desk. Every piece of chocolate candy I think they had in the house. And they put it in a little bag and a little bow on it. It could make somebody's whole day by just giving them chalk. By you smiling at somebody who's having a bad day and saying, hey, hope you have a great day. It can be that simple. And I challenge all of you, try it. It gets easier, it gets less weird, and then it's normal for you to just open somebody's door if you can, if they're having a struggle, helping them out with groceries if you can. Whatever it is, a small kindness could be the only kindness that person sees all day, if not all week. You don't know that, but it's that easy to do. So I bless you all, and thank you so much for coming and enjoying US Global TV. They have so many great channels, and thank you for joining mine.
Thank you, Pet Psychic Amina, and I wish you a beautiful rest of your day, and I look forward to seeing you next week.
And it's only going to be like 98 today.
Ooh, it's hot here too.
Yeah, exactly. It's like global warming, remember? We're never going to see a cool day ever. You have
Yes.
a great day, and I hope you're off and you're going to do something fun and give your mom a squeeze for me.
All right. I definitely will. Take
Take
care of
care.
yourself. Bye. Thank you, everyone. Whether you're watching or listening on the live or on the replay, we're so happy to have you here. If you are on our YouTube channel, USA Global TV and Radio, please do subscribe. We would love to have you as part of our family here. As I mentioned in the beginning, we have 29 live broadcasts each week, and I'm actually in the process of setting up the 2023 broadcasting programming schedule. So if you'd like to join us, maybe you have an idea for a show, you'd like to be a co-host, you'd like to learn how to listen at an elevated level, or you'd like to be a talking head or possibly a panelist, please do go ahead and reach out to me. You can contact me. I can never find my own banner. You would think I would know exactly where it is, but I've got about 50 of them right here. You can contact me, Dr. JACALYN at USA Global TV. .com. Okay, cannot find my banner, but that's what it is. It's Dr. JACALYN at usaglobaltv.com. We are off for the rest of the day, and I wish you a beautiful weekend. If you are here in the United States, please do celebrate safely, cautiously, and if you are meeting with other people during the weekend, please take a look at my show today, The Listening Mentor, about how to interact and engage with other people. We all are coming to the table with something that we've been dealing with or we've been thinking about it. And as we mentioned on this show, people get together and then they just start taking things out on one another, and it ruins the whole experience. So if you're interested in learning how to listen at an elevated level, I'm interested in helping you. And the power of listening and all of our listening courses, we have about 7. They're all on sale, 25% off. And to find them, I'll type it in here where you can go. You can go over to our education platform, which is drjacalyn.thinkific.com/courses. And to get the 25% off, you can use the coupon code Labor Day. It's all one word. Labor Day. All capitals, by the way. And if you're on the radio, LABORDAY for 25% off. So please do take advantage of that and help out our teachers who have created the courses as well. So there you go. Thank you. The comments are here for you to go ahead and reach out and connect for the courses or to reach Pet Psychic Amina. I'm going to close out now, and I look forward to seeing you back here on Monday. Thanks for now.